6 powerful exercises that work all muscles in a single movement. What if I told you it's possible to build more strength and explosiveness with just 6 movements than with complete training programs involving more than 30 exercises? Sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? But modern training science proves it. Compound exercises involving multiple joints are much more efficient for developing functional strength. If your excuse for not training is lack of time, today you'll discover that it's totally possible to work your entire body with 6 movements capable of building raw strength in all muscles simultaneously. But before we begin, tell me in the comments your name and how long you've been training. Exercise number 6, Farmer's Walk. The Farmer's Walk is that exercise that seems too simple to work, but surprises even the most experienced athletes. This incredible exercise works practically all the muscles in your body, with special emphasis on the forearms, shoulders, trapezius, core, quadriceps, hamstrings, and even the stabilizing muscles of the ankles. It's a movement that forces your body to work as an integrated unit, exactly as nature planned. What makes the Farmer's Walk so efficient is that it simulates a movement we do in real life, carrying weight from one place to another, but in a controlled and progressive manner. While other exercises isolate specific muscles, this one recruits entire muscle chains, improving not only your raw strength, but also your posture, muscular endurance, and balance. To execute it correctly, you'll need 2 weights, which can be kettlebells, dumbbells, or even buckets filled with water if you're starting at home. Hold 1 weight in each hand, keeping your arms extended at your sides. Your shoulders should be back and down, away from your ears, and your core activated. Imagine you're trying to hold a coin between your shoulder blades. That's the posture you should maintain. Now, simply walk in a straight line for a predetermined distance, maintaining an upright posture and aligned shoulders. You'll know you're doing it right when you feel uniform tension throughout your body, especially in the forearms and trapezius, but without back pain. Breathing should remain controlled, even with effort, and your steps should be firm without wobbling. The most common mistakes include hunching your shoulders forward, bending your elbows to rest the weights, or letting your spine lose neutrality. Another frequent error is choosing weights that are too light and don't challenge your muscles, or so heavy that they compromise your form. Don't look at your feet while walking. Keep your gaze forward to ensure a neutral neck posture. For beginners, I recommend starting with about 30 to 40% of your body weight summing both weights and walking for 65 to 100 feet. Do 3 to 4 sets with a rest interval of 60 to 90 seconds between them. As your strength increases, you can progressively increase both the weight and the distance traveled. A secret that few know: alternating between fast and slow walking in the same exercise can amplify results as it challenges different types of muscle fibers. Try 33 feet fast followed by 33 feet controlled and slower. Exercise 5, Kettlebell Swing. If there's one exercise that has revolutionized functional training in recent decades, that exercise is the kettlebell swing. This pendulum movement is almost magical in its ability to transform your body, combining strength training, cardiovascular conditioning, and mobility in a single fluid movement. The kettlebell swing is a predominantly hip exercise that intensely works the entire posterior chain, glutes, hamstrings, lower back, but also strongly engages your core, shoulders, arms, and even your legs. Most impressive is how it develops explosive strength that transfers to practically any physical activity you practice. When performed correctly, the swing is not a squatting or arm movement, but a powerful hip extension. It's as if you were trying to throw the kettlebell forward using only the strength of your glutes and hamstrings. To execute it, position yourself with your feet slightly wider than shoulder width, holding the kettlebell with both hands between your legs. Make a hip hinge. Imagine you're trying to close a door with your buttocks, allowing the kettlebell to go backward between your legs. Your knees should be slightly flexed, but the main movement comes from the hip, not the knees. Then, with an explosive movement, extend your hips forward, strongly contracting your glutes. It's this hip extension that propels the kettlebell upward, not the strength of your arms or shoulders. The kettlebell should rise to shoulder height or slightly above before beginning its descent. You'll know you're doing it right when you feel your glutes and hamstrings working intensely, not your arms or lower back. At the top of the movement, your body should form a straight line, with glutes contracted and knees slightly extended, but not locked. The most common mistakes include squatting instead of making the hip hinge, using your arms to lift the kettlebell, letting your spine round, or not contracting your glutes at the top of the movement. Another frequent error is using a kettlebell that's too light and doesn't offer enough resistance for strength training. For beginners, I recommend starting with 3 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions, using a moderate kettlebell. I recommend 18 to 26 pounds for women and 26 to 35 pounds for men. As your technique and strength improve, you can gradually increase both the weight and the number of repetitions or sets. An interesting variation for those who already master the basic movement is the unilateral swing, holding the kettlebell with just one hand. This adds a rotational component that works your oblique and stabilizing muscles even more. Exercise 3. Thruster. If I had to choose just one exercise to take to a desert island, it would probably be the thruster. This hybrid movement, which combines a front squat with a shoulder press, is simply devastating in its efficiency for developing strength and conditioning simultaneously. The thruster is a compound exercise that works practically all the major muscle groups of the body in a single fluid movement: quadriceps, glutes, hamstrings, core, shoulders, triceps, and even the stabilizing muscles of the back. It's as if you combined 2 of the most powerful exercises in weightlifting into one, multiplying their benefits. What makes the thruster so special is its ability to quickly elevate your heart rate while developing strength throughout your body. It's a movement that transfers power from the legs to the arms through a stabilized core, teaching your body to function as a cohesive unit. To execute it correctly, you'll need a pair of dumbbells or a barbell. Start by holding the weights at shoulder height, with elbows pointing downward. Your feet should be shoulder width apart. Perform a full squat, keeping your torso upright and heels on the ground. As you rise from the squat, use the momentum to press the weights above your head, fully extending your arms. Return the weights to the shoulder position as you prepare for the next squat. You'll know you're doing it right when the movement seems fluid, almost like a dance, without pauses between the squat and the press. You should feel your quadriceps and glutes initiating the movement, your core stabilizing during the transition, and your shoulders and triceps finishing. The most common mistakes include arching your back during the press, not descending enough in the squat, letting your elbows drop during the initial position, or separating the movement into 2 distinct parts instead of a single fluid movement. Another frequent error is using too much weight, which compromises technique and safety. For beginners, I recommend starting with 3 sets of 8 to 10 repetitions, using a weight that challenges you but allows you to maintain perfect technique during all repetitions. As your strength and coordination improve, you can gradually increase both the weight and the number of repetitions. An interesting variation to add even more challenge is the paused thruster, where you maintain the squat position for 2 to 3 seconds before starting the ascent. This eliminates the muscle elasticity component, forcing your muscles to generate force from a static position. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Having constant access to science-based information is what will make you progress with health in the long term in the world of bodybuilding. Exercise 4. Burpees. Loved by few, feared by many, burpees are that exercise that you probably love to hate. And with good reason, few movements manage to be as efficient and, at the same time, as challenging as this classic functional training exercise. The burpee is a bodyweight exercise that literally works all the muscles in your body, with special emphasis on the chest, shoulders, triceps, core, quadriceps, and glutes. It's a movement that combines strength, muscular endurance, cardiovascular conditioning, and coordination in a single, explosive sequence. What makes the burpee so efficient is its ability to elevate your metabolism to stratospheric levels in a short period of time. Studies show that just 30 seconds of burpees can increase your caloric expenditure for up to 24 hours after the workout, thanks to the effect known as EPOC, excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. To execute it correctly, start standing, with feet shoulder-width apart. Squat down and place your hands on the floor in front of you. Jump or walk your feet back, assuming a plank position. Perform a complete push-up, touching your chest to the ground. Jump or walk your feet back to your hands, getting into a squat position. Finish with an explosive jump, fully extending your body in the air, with arms above your head. You'll know you're doing it right when the movement flows naturally, without unnecessary pauses between transitions. Your spine should remain neutral throughout the exercise, especially in the plank and push-up position. The final jump should be explosive, with a soft landing, cushioned by the knees. The most common mistakes include excessively arching or curving your back during the push-up, not completing the range of motion, especially in the push-up and jump, letting your hips drop in the plank position, or performing the exercise too quickly, sacrificing technique. Another frequent error is not breathing properly, which can lead to premature fatigue. For beginners, I recommend starting with modified versions, such as the burpee without push-up or without jump, performing 3 sets of 5 to 10 repetitions with adequate intervals. As your fitness improves, you can progress to the full version and increase the volume or reduce the intervals. Exercise 5, push-up to downward dog. This hybrid exercise intensely works the chest, shoulder, and triceps muscles during the push-up phase, and then transitions to a position that stretches the entire posterior chain of the body, hamstrings, glutes, lower back, and shoulders, during the yoga downward dog phase. Additionally, your core works constantly to stabilize the body throughout the transition. What makes the push-up to downward dog so special is its ability to combine strength and flexibility in a single movement, something we rarely find in traditional exercises. This combination not only develops functional muscles, but also improves joint mobility, an aspect often neglected in conventional training programs. To execute it correctly, start in a high plank position, with hands slightly wider than shoulder width and feet hip width apart. Perform a complete push-up, keeping your body straight and core activated. Upon returning to the initial push-up position, push your hips up and back, extending your arms and forming an inverted V with your body. This is the downward dog position. Your heels should seek the ground, even if they don't touch it, and your head should be between your arms, with your gaze directed toward your feet. You'll know you're doing it right when you feel a contraction in your chest, shoulders, and triceps during the push-up, followed by a significant stretch in the back of your legs and back during the downward dog. Your breathing should flow naturally, inhaling during the descent of the push-up and exhaling when pushing into the downward dog. The most common mistakes include letting your hips drop during the push-up, not pushing your hips up and back enough in the transition to downward dog, or leaving your knees excessively bent in the final position. Another frequent error is performing the movement too quickly, without taking advantage of the stretching benefits of the yoga position. For beginners, I recommend starting with 3 sets of 6 to 8 repetitions, maintaining the downward dog position for 2 to 3 complete breaths before returning to the plank. As your strength and mobility improve, you can gradually increase the number of repetitions and reduce the rest time between sets. An interesting variation to add more challenge is to incorporate a raised leg during the downward dog position, alternating between right and left with each repetition. This adds a balance component and works your central stability even more. To maximize the benefits of this exercise, focus on the quality of movement and connection with your breathing. In the downward dog position, try to actively push the ground away with your hands, slightly rotating your elbows outward. This deeply engages the stabilizing muscles of the shoulders and improves the range of the stretch in your back. Beyond the obvious physical benefits, this exercise also has an important mental component. The alternation between effort and active recovery teaches your body to manage stress and recover more efficiently, a valuable skill not only for training, but for life as a whole. Exercise 6. Sled push. If you've ever seen those enormous tractor tires being pushed in gyms or functional training programs, you know what I'm talking about. The sled push is a brutal exercise that seems simple but can leave even the most conditioned athletes gasping for breath in a matter of seconds. This exercise is a true metabolic bomb that simultaneously works almost all the muscles in the body, with special emphasis on the quadriceps, glutes, core, shoulders, triceps, and even calves. It's a movement that combines strength and cardiovascular endurance in a way that few exercises can match. What makes the sled push so efficient is that it requires you to produce force continuously, without moments of rest during execution, unlike exercises such as the squat, where you have a brief relief at the top of the movement. Additionally, being a pushing exercise with feet on the ground, it has extremely low impact on the joints, making it safe even for people with a history of injuries. To execute it correctly, position yourself behind the sled with arms extended and hands firmly gripping the handles or structure. Lean your body forward, maintaining a straight line from head to heels. The angle of your body is crucial. The more horizontal, the more you'll engage your glutes and hamstrings. The more vertical, the more your quadriceps will work. Start pushing with force, taking short and quick steps, keeping your feet low, almost dragging them on the ground. You'll know you're doing it right when you feel an intense burning in your legs and a significant increase in your heart and respiratory rate. Your shoulders should remain stable and aligned without rising toward your ears, and your core should be constantly activated. The most common mistakes include letting your hip rise higher than your shoulders, losing the straight line of your body, taking steps that are too long, or using only arm strength to push. Another frequent error is not breathing properly during the effort, which can lead to premature fatigue. For beginners, I recommend starting with a moderate weight and pushing for a distance of 49 to 66 feet. Do 3 to 4 sets with a rest interval of 90 to 120 seconds between them. As your fitness improves, you can progressively increase both the weight and the distance, or reduce the rest time for a greater challenge. And as everything in life is about balance, if you want to change the approach of such intense movements a bit, and also learn 6 Japanese isometric postures capable of healing years of neglect of your own body, we're showing right now on the screen a video explaining each one of them better. Don't miss it. Thank you for watching this far, and may God bless you, my friend.